So I'm not gonna lie here, guys. I think I might have just watched the best Star Wars movie since A New Hope. Now, I just got back from the Last Jedi screening. Literally just got back. My mind is just all over the place. I absolutely loved it, and I'm gonna tell you why. So, I am a big fan of The Force Awakens. I watched it a lot. I saw it like 3 times in the theater. Really loved, John Boyega, Daisy Ridley, Oscar Isaac, and I jived with them right away. Like, I fell for the charm of these characters, and I was with them from pretty much the start. So now seeing them in The Last Jedi, kind of, a little bit more self-assured, a little bit more even self-assured, recognizing faults and, making mistakes. It's just so, it's so much fun to watch these characters kind of work their way through. It feels like just a different kind of series in terms of the previous Star Wars movies. It has the charm, I feel, of the original trilogy. I love these characters. I genuinely do. I didn't have that with the prequels. I'm going to be honest. Ian McGregor was great in the prequels, but I never really fell in love with those movies. I don't really go watch those movies unless I'm doing a marathon or something. Maybe Revenge of the Sith, maybe. So, love seeing Luke back in action. Luke is one of my all-time favorites. And by the way, before I even go any further, there's going to be spoilers in this review. So, you've been warned. So I'm so glad I got to see Luke back in action. I like to see sort of the older Luke, the wise Luke, but frightened Luke and unsure Luke. He's just like all these other characters in different walks of life. They're all sort of unsure and of themselves, and but they're sure. They have this confidence as well, and they have confidence in other people, even if it takes some beating into them, like Rey with Luke. But it all works out, and I feel the intensity of the actual war going on. It feels like there are losses. It's not just brushed under. You feel the losses in the past 2 movies, and even in Rogue One, you feel these losses. You feel like these characters have lost something. They don't just kind of go about their day, which I think is really important. They're very good at these newer Star Wars movies. Are very good at getting you emotionally invested, which is something I definitely look for in a movie. And, people were worried that Disney taking over Star Wars was going to kind of muck it up and make it a little too kiddish and kind of cartoony. And I will admit, I think they overdid it with the Porgs a little bit. So there was really a lot to love here. At least I think so. I was with, the story from, the first couple moments. I definitely got teary-eyed through the whole thing, especially stuff when they talk about Han and, even Rey's losses. Daisy Ridley is just so good at just bringing you into her, like, distress and, her vulnerable state. It feels like it's so easy for her. And it's so beautiful to watch. And I definitely get, brought in by Daisy Ridley's performance, in both these films. She just draws me in, and I just feel like I'm in her head, and I feel what she feels, which is great. And I feel like they gave Adam Driver, Kylo Ren, a lot of really solid stuff to work with this time. The first one, he was kind of like this angsty, I hate my dad, and I hate my uncle, and I hate my mom. Well, he never said anything about Leia. He definitely had a soft spot for her there. But they gave him more to work with. There was a lot more. It was a lot more artistic too. This one. It was very Hollywood, but there were moments that felt very sort of abstract and kind of artsy, and definitely philosophical. They're definitely, this movie, which I had predicted was going to go into sort of just the ideology and the philosophy of Jedi and Sith and balance and darkness and light and everything in between, the Force. And they kind of they're not messing with midichlorians, which, thank God. They're kind of making it seem like the Force is just pretty much anybody who wants to tap into the Force can. It's all around us. It's not for one person to wield or use as a weapon or control. It's part of everything. It is everything, basically. Which I'm loving that they're diving into the philosophy of, the Force and what these people believe in, in a galaxy far far away, what do these people believe? What gives these people hope or meaning, or what drives them? And I'm really interested in seeing where this goes. I'm super excited for part 9. Unfortunately, I think Daisy Ridley said she was going to be done with part 9. I don't know if that's like official, but if that's true, I'm going to be pretty heartbroken, because I think Daisy Ridley is just an incredible leading woman. I love her as Rey. I have my little Rey over here. But just the sort of just the symbolic weight of what we're seeing in these movies, especially in these times, is just so encouraging and inspiring, even for 26-year-old like me. It works for kids and it works for adults that kind of need to hear something. Maybe they lost their way, and you have like all these. You have your younger guys, and then you see your old, the people we grew up with, Luke and Leia. You kind of see them grapple with things and evolve, and even come to terms with certain things and find peace as well, which I think is super important, and very it's important for the adults watching. I don't know if kids will be able to grasp a lot of it. I'm sure they will. Some will. But as adults watching, I think that's important for us to hear as well. This is definitely the funniest Star Wars movie. Just to kind of go on that tangent a little bit. I was laughing. I was crying through the whole thing. It just felt like a very it's Star Wars. It's a big blockbuster, but it felt so. I don't know. I mean it's Star Wars. Everybody has like an emotional tether to it, but I felt like I was in this one. And I never felt that with any of the previous Star Wars movies. Force Awakens a little bit, New Hope a little bit, but I feel like since we know these characters already, we have Luke's backstory, we have Leia, and we have Rey and Finn now, and Poe and BB-8 and Chewbacca. It's just like the weight is so heavy of all these emotions just on the table right here, and it just was very impactful. And there's a lot of cool scenes as well. There was just like a lot of well shot scenes, a lot of interesting philosophies being thrown out. Everybody can kind of tap into the Force. Not everybody can be strong in the Force, like Rey or Kylo or Luke and Leia. Which Leia, holy crap! Spoiler! Leia is extremely strong in the Force. Which kind of I was kind of trying to applaud in the theater, which there was tons of applause throughout the movie in the theater, which is why I go to the theaters, especially for these kind of things where it's just like the fan base is just so passionate and love the material so much they get into it, and it's like almost just another experience on the experience, which is why I do enjoy going to the theater, although it's it's a weird industry now. But for stuff like this where it's like people are just so attached to it and emotional about it, it's really fun to watch. So I also really love, again, I'm going to go back to Kylo. I'm jumping around here. I love that another big spoiler, that Kylo kills Snoke. It's unclear if he's doing it. I mean, he wants Rey to work with him because he knows how strong Rey is, but I think he just took the opportunity to kill Snoke. He felt like he was stronger. He had his moment, and he took it, which I kind of love that this guy that was supposed to be this big bad like Sith Lord was just basically sliced in half like a la Darth Maul by Kylo Ren with Rey's lightsaber. It was just such a cool moment. They're not overhyping these characters, which I absolutely love. These characters are vulnerable, and that's, I think, a big theme of the Last Jedi. It's nobody's too big, nobody's undefeatable, nobody's too strong. At least strong alone. Another big theme is, of course, strong together, which is a very important message as well. Nobody can get too high off their own supply, basically, or you will face your downfall. And Snoke did pretty swiftly, which was super cool to see. And it was super cool to see Luke recognize that he wasn't this legend. He was imperfect. He's not the perfect man or the perfect Jedi or the perfect teacher. he made mistakes, he made, bad judgments, and, he punished himself for it instead of, asking for forgiveness or, coming to terms with it and facing it and moving on and trying to right his wrongs, which he obviously did with Rey, sort of halfway through the movie, which was, this movie was just so, it was just so full, which I think is what makes it a beautiful, fantastic, memorable Star Wars movie that I think definitely deserves to be treated as one of the best. Out of all the Star Wars movies to come out, I want to put it almost neck and neck with A New Hope because it just brings so much more to the table and so much substance, I think. Some people might think I'm silly or naive, but I think it was just a very strong movie, and I think it brought a lot. Also, what I'm really excited and love about this movie was the revelation of where Rey comes from and who Rey's parents are. And I love that her parents are nobody notable. I absolutely love it. I was hoping she wouldn't be anybody. She would just be somebody new, somebody that just was kind of thrown into this and just has, she's in touch with this. Maybe because she was alone and she felt so much emotion, but she didn't, let it turn her. So she just built all this like goodness and hope and strength inside her, and so much so that she was just in tune with everything around her, and built up this force sensitivity and force strength that we know and see today. It's just so damn fantastic. I just love what they're doing with the sort of the mythology and the philosophy of the Star Wars world. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you thought of the movie. I could go on go on about it forever. There's so much still to discuss. I might do a live stream discussing it all. So subscribe, and you will get notifications for that. Also, best way to find new videos is to follow me on Twitter. I'll let you know when I'm doing live streams or releasing new videos. So follow me there at Joey Pedras. Thank you guys for watching. Again, leave your comments. What did you think of the movie? Likes, dislikes, whatever. You could just gush about it if you want. I'd like to hear your guys' opinion. And I'm like really happy with this movie. It was a good one. All right, guys. I shall talk to you very soon. May the Force be with you.